Hello, and welcome to I Am Dad Podcast with your fatherhood authority, Kenneth Braswell. 30 minutes of wisdom, information, resources, and nuggets to help you on your fatherhood journey. Or maybe you're just curious and want to hear some real talk about fatherhood, family, and the minds of men. Well, guess what? We got you too. Sit back, grab your pad and pen, and maybe even bring a little something to sip on. Enjoy 30 straight minutes of fatherhood, family, and fun with the Fatherhood Authority, Kenneth Braswell.
Welcome to I Am Dad Podcast. I'm your host, Kenneth Braswell. Thank you once again for joining us on a Sunday morning as we continue to bring you provocative, insightful conversation in the field of responsible fatherhood, and every once in a while some subject matter that is in and around being dads. It may not be so serious, but we may lighten it up a little bit like today. So I was finally able to chase this man around the world. You know, I've been in Africa, Mongolia, Thailand.
You making up places.
Down underground, back to the States. And I finally have been able to nail my good friend Griff down. If you guys don't know Griff, check in every morning. They're syndicated across the country. Griff is the co-host of Get Up Mornings with Campbell, and you can hear him every morning. But he has become one of my good friends. I can always rely on Griff making me laugh. And so today, I'm going to sit back because one of his professions is being a comedian. And when I told him about this conversation that I wanted to have about what's so funny, but not so funny being a dad, he jumped all over it. And so I know this show is going to be good. But let me start off with this, Griff, because I want to kind of set the stage. First of all, before I go there, how you doing?
Man, I'm blessed, man. It's funny when we sit here and we talk about being dads. Like I'm sitting here with Papa Mike right now, and I get to chop stuff up with him and go back and forth. And, I don't think you never get too old to learn. You know what I mean? Like, I just really enjoy spending time with him and knowing that he is, triple OG.
He got the triple O. The triple O.
Triple OG. Oh, yeah, he do all kinds of stuff. Dude, a retired police officer from the bomb squad, the Marines. Like, he could kill you still. He could kill you. He ain't never gonna tell you, but he done blew some folk up. He won't tell me, though. I just need him to tell me.
Oh, man, that is funny. But you know what? The crazy thing is, this is one of those weeks that God always positions people and things in my life right when I need them. And sometimes even when I don't know I need them. Mm-hmm. So last week, a few weeks ago, I was watching TV here in Atlanta, and a story came on. And the story headline was, father murdered himself. Father killed and murder suicide. And the dad, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to kind of have a sense of what happened. They tracked him down in Henry County under a domestic violence call. Something happened, and he ended up in Clayton County with him and his kids in the car. So when they caught him, he turned and he killed one of his children, and then turned the gun and killed himself.
Yeah.
And it was something about that, Griff, and I'm still, to this day, my heart just freaking aches, right?
Yeah.
Because the sympathy and the dad in me is trying to understand, how could you hate someone more than you love your children?
Man.
And all of the emotions that had to be going through him, forget the circumstances and how he got there, because we all have a sense of what the circumstances could have been.
Of course.
And the consequence is that selfish act impacted not only the child that he took out, but the one that he left behind that was in the back seat watching it all unfold.
Right.
And so all week I just been bawling and crying and trying to figure out what am I going to do with Fathers Incorporated. God, what am I not doing? What is it I'm not seeing? How can I get in front of this thing? How can I be a bigger servant? How can I be a bigger advocate? How can I lift my voice? How can I talk louder? How can I get more people to listen to me? All of those things I've been dealing with. But my wife said to me, and I was telling her about how I was feeling, and she goes, honey, she goes, you carrying a lot. She goes, you need to laugh. So you need to just bring it down a notch. And right when she said that, not too long after she said that, was when you text me.
Wow.
And then we were texting, and then I was like, I got this idea about doing this podcast.
I was like, I'm all the way down. I think you gotta laugh. Like I just start saying, I don't hate my ex-wife. I hate her principalities. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible says something about the principalities, and it ain't the person, it's the spirit. So I hate her principalities. I hope her principalities get hit by a bus.
That's what Big Perm said, though, right? It's the principalities of it all.
You know, when I think of, I saw something pretty close to that. I think a guy in Cleveland, he was recording himself, and he was talking to his kid's mom, and he had all his kids in the car, and he killed all of them, man, and he killed himself. And I'm such an empath. That just sat with me, dog, the same way it sat with you. And I also was like, man, I would have loved to have chopped it up with him. I would have loved to, you know, and even with my trials and my problems with my own father, I forgive him so much and I love him so much, and I'm so grateful and thankful that I could get to a place where I could say that. But I know a lot of people aren't there yet with their dads, but I also know that fathers do what fathers learn, you know? Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a base, if you don't have someone to turn to, man, then you just be in your head. You in your own head. And, you know, it ain't good when dudes is by themselves and thinking, and, you know, it's a lot of anger that really don't have nothing to do with your kids, mom. It's other anger that's just, you know, added when you think about she not letting me see my baby and I can't go, you know. And I've been to a couple events with Joy. I've been to a number of events with you, and I've talked to the guys on the side, and they always kind of had the same question, like, how do you do it? How do you, when they make you pay child support and they don't let you, you know, how do you not go crazy? Like, I think the bottom line is we have to be men first. We have to understand that we made a human being, and that human being is our responsibility. And you know, I'm like you, dog. I'm a father to the end. I got a 31-year-old, two 29s, a 23 and a 15, and that ain't even counting my wife's kids, which is another 24, a 30, a couple 23s, you know what I'm saying? So the father don't go away. Like, I'm always calling, you know, checking on them. Hey man, did y'all check out this book? Did you look at this link? I don't know if they're gonna look at it immediately when I send it, but you know, still fathering.
Mm-hmm. When you look at your kids and you talk about your kids, because that's the times that I find the most joy. That's what I love about you, because it's one of those places where you and I find common humor and common connect, that I feel my best when I'm talking about my wife and kids. Like when I'm talking, random conversation or whatever, but if I'm talking about them, it brings me a level of joy. What kind of joy does it bring to you when you think about your kids and your wife, for that matter?
You know, I'll start with my kids. You know, I had my son when I was 20. I was in the military. I was living in Germany. And it's funny because my whole life, I always wanted to be a dad. You know, I wanted to be a comedian since I was 3, but I also just wanted to be a dad. Like, I was like, man, when I get a son, we gonna jump in leaves. I'm gonna push him on a swing. I'm not gonna yell at him when I throw the baseball and he don't get it. I'm gonna make sure he know this. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna teach him this. I'm gonna bring him to the library. And I really did all that with my oldest son. I was I might not be the best husband. I'm an awesome father, though. I got a whole bunch of people that have vouched for me on that, who bear my last name and who was raised by me. I tell my wife sometimes, I say, you gotta excuse me. Because when I was a kid, I ain't say, I'm gonna be an awesome husband. I can't wait to be a husband. I can't wait to share all my stuff and split everything and be empathetic to some lady. Like, I never did that. So I'm still learning that. But the fathering, when I think of my kids and how successful they are and how brilliant they are and how clever and funny, man, me and my 23-year-old daughter, we was laughing so hard about the Buckeyes losing. She been a Michigan fan because of me, but she only seen Michigan win twice before last week or a couple weeks ago, you know what I'm saying, against Ohio State. So what she was saying and her, man, it just brought me joy. Every time I hang up with my kids, I be wanting to cry a little bit, just because I be like, man, I raised them, man. Like, and then today I've been married 23 months. Nice. So next month it'll be 2 years, and I'm blessed to have a wife that don't think I'm crazy. Being a creative and being somebody who, I never needed to go to school to find out who I was. I already knew what I was my whole life. Like, that's tough for people, because people grown and still don't know what they want to be when they grow up. You know what I'm saying? So I always knew, and I never had a backup plan. So when you get with somebody who maybe they ain't know who they was until recently, or they ain't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot to try to swallow. Like, oh, this dude, he just be thinking about other continents and countries. And when you were saying Griff be in Mongolia and all these other places, the cool part is December 15th, I'm taking my wife to South Africa, and it's my first time taking her. It'll be my 28th time going. I just went a couple weeks ago, but it'll be my 28th time, but first time taking my wife. And I'm so excited because I've been talking about this place to her for years. And I want her to see why I love it so much, so I can't wait to host. I'm always hosting people in South Africa, but I can't wait to host my wife. So I'm real excited about that.
Yeah, no, that's funny that you're going to South Africa. So now it's been now since right before the pandemic, since I've been to Ghana, because I was going every year. And when the pandemic,
Ghana's dope.
Going back. And now I have 3 opportunities to go to Africa next May, June, and July, twice to Ghana. And then I got a good friend of mine who he's a #1 bestseller, wants me to come and work with a crew of his to shoot a documentary in Kenya.
I haven't been to the East yet. Nairobi and all them. I haven't been to the East, but I will. Let me know when you're going. I'll go.
I'll let you know. Yeah, no, that would be real cool. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So, but he's a poet, and it's so funny because when I was talking to the producer the other day, we were chatting, and she was like, "Kenny, what do you think is the theme? What do you think Kwame's theme is?" And I said, as long as I've known Kwame, he's been a poet. That's what he does. I was like, his documentary has to be a poem. I was like, so we need to find out from him, what's the poem of his life? What is the poem of his life? What's his life's poem? And I would pose the same thing to you, because I think about you in the same way. What's the humor in your life? They talk about when men walk into the house that we set the temperature. I often tell people that in my house, I'm not the thermometer, I'm the thermostat. When I walk into the house, temperature raises and lowers based on the energy that I bring into the house. And I'm going to assume that when you walk into your house, you bring a particular energy in your house, particularly on the humor side, and particularly and more specifically around your kids. Like, what do your kids expect of you? Like, what makes them laugh the most of the things that you possibly say to them?
Probably when I was yelling at them, like believe it or not, my kids don't know me as a comedian and key, waiting for another punchline from dad. They know me as their father, who just happens to have a sense of humor. You know what I mean? So their whole life, I think they tried not to laugh when I said things because I was making things up on the fly. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time I told them, I don't know what they did, but I handcuffed both my sons downstairs. I think all three of them. I either handcuffed all three of them downstairs and they was in the basement with boxers and tank tops on. And I was like, I'm going to go upstairs, I'm going to eat, I'm going to come down, I'm going to kill y'all. Just stand here. And I made them listen to Broadway musicals. I put the so I'm upstairs cracking up, right? And all I hear downstairs is start spreading the news. Dun, 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 dun. I'm leaving today. So they probably gonna hate plays for the rest of their life. But when they tell me stories like that, Dad, you remember you? And what? Then I remember my ex-wife, Tony, came downstairs. She said, where the boys? I said, they downstairs. I said, I'm gonna whoop them. I'm not. I'm just making them be scared. So she went downstairs and saw him handcuffed and came back upstairs and said, oh no, Griff, we can't do this. I'm not going to jail for you. So I think my kids laugh at situations more than anything because I instead of discipline, I talk to my kids. You know, I think if you have to whoop your kids after 12, something wrong with your parenting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't really want to. I remember giving one of my kids, I don't know what he did, but I was like, oh, I'm going to kill you when you get home. Mm-hmm. And he was on the bed, and I was thinking, this is very slavery. This is very, why am I striking my son like this? When, you know what I mean? I really had an epiphany like this. Nah, put your clothes on, dog. We can talk this out. Like this, it gotta be a better way. Like you don't, this is something taught. Like you don't whoop somebody because they ... You know what I'm saying? We work it out. How can we not do that again? How can we correct that kind of behavior? And I think even pauses like that and epiphanies and thinking like that is what makes me an exceptional father, because I don't want to scar my kid. I want my kids to have great, you know, it was very important for me probably after 13 to stop buying stuff and start having memories and start, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to Arizona and go to a resort and let's all remember the pool and the, you know what I'm saying? And because shoes wear out and PlayStations break and video games get scratched and, but you can't take away a memory. So my kids, to watch them with their kids, you know, going to parks and, you know, oh, Dad, I heard my son called me yesterday and he was like, you know, I'm coaching my son's basketball team again. Last year we won the championship, and this year, Dad, what do you think my goal should be? And just hearing him say that, like that means so much, man, because they still need us. You know what I mean? Like I think you should be in your kid's life so they don't have to need you and be like, I want, but you don't want to be so, well, I'm going to let them live their life that you so hands off that when you call them, they be like, let me hit you back. And then they don't. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, my daughter, my youngest one, man, she's the closest one. All my kids are close in their own special way. But there's something about my youngest daughter that has this hold around my heart, like she's a girlfriend. So like if I call and she don't call back, I start feeling some kind of way, like, who you with, where you at, what you doing.
How old is she?
She's 23 now.
Yeah,
I remember a few years ago, her and I was going through a little something like most dads and their daughters go through, and we ain't talked for a couple of months. It was like a month, and I was in the house, and my wife came into the room. I was watching something on TV, and I was bawling like a baby, and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I haven't spoken to Nzinga in like 2 months." She was like, "Dude, you messed up." She goes, "You like your old high school girlfriend left you at the prom or something."
That's
I was like,
hilarious.
I don't know what it is about this girl, but something about her. She has that heart. She has that lock on my heart in that way.
I think, you ain't supposed to have favorites, but I got two. I'm probably torn. I always say if my kids get in a house fire and the house is burning down, I'm going to run in and go, "Brandon!" I'm going to call for my oldest with the other kids on my legs. I'm going to be like, hold on, Brandon! I love them all different. I love them all special, and I don't love them the same. Only people without kids think that you love all your kids the same, and all the kids is, they just as different as people who work at your job. Like
Right.
one of them don't get math the same way as the other one got. One of them might not pick up English the same way, so you gotta slow down with one, speed up with the other one, get the other one caught up, help the other one, find somebody who can help the person that, it's a lot of different ways. So that's all parenting. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Yeah.
That's parenting.
With my son though, he is, I've tried to find that thing that I love in all of them, that one thing that I put my hook on that just allows me to stay hooked in the same way for all of them, with those differences across the board, but that feeling of like this thing connects us in a way that nothing else connects us. With my son, it's kind of like I only have one son. He's quick with it, like me. He's quiet, like as long as you don't bother him, he don't bother you. But he could be talking normally and he'll just drop something on you. He's been able to do that since he was a little boy. One time we was in the car, and the one thing that many of them, all of my kids, except for the one that's living her best life right now, has picked up from me is that entrepreneurial spirit. They all, none of them want to work for nobody. They're business minded. They want to run their own business. My son wants to be on the cover of 230 NBA. He already knows I'm going to be on the cover of 2K31. He's already said that. He's in his mind. He's there. But he was in the car one day, and it was me and the girls was in the car. My wife was in the car. He must have been, Griff. He must have been about 3, maybe 4 years old. And so I got my youngest daughter on one side of him. He's in the car seat in the middle, and my middle daughter's on the other side of him. My wife's in the front, and I'm driving. And KJ goes, "So Mommy and Daddy has an organization, Fathers Incorporated, and they're doing everything they need to do, and they're making all kinds of money so that we can go to school and they can pay for our bills and all that stuff." He said, and Nzinga, wants to start her own beauty business, and she's going to school so she can start her business and she can do what she wants to do. And she goes, "And I'm going to practice and playing basketball, and one day I'm going to be an NBA star, and I'm going to be able to pay all the bills and do all the things." And he goes, "So Amber, what are you going to do?"
In my house, we call that the trap door.
Right.
You just be, yeah, cartoon. That's the best. Well, that trap door is the best. Because you never saw it coming. That you got to take it in. You got to eat that.
Coming. And then when you talk to all of my kids, all of them will say, KJ is the one you don't want to mess with because he's always the one that he won't come out at you real fast. It's in that quiet moment. He'll say something like that and just drop the mic and walk away with no emotion, whatsoever.
I think the ongoing in my house, if you could make me laugh, you wasn't gonna be in trouble. So my kids had to be super duper quick, So, Dad, the basketball that you said don't bounce in the house, crazy thing happened in the house. Like, so if they get, it's good when you raise kids to talk to you. I wanted my kids to be able to talk to me. I wanted them to fear me, but I didn't want them to be scared of me. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the difference. I think I would give all my kids a chance. Listen, this is your part right here. If your sentences ain't correct, if you moving too much, if you looking around, this is all coming out on the other side. So I'm giving you a whole chance to tell me what happened. And they really, I think, appreciate it as kids. It's like, at least I'm gonna have a chance to speak before anything, versus when we was young, you just get home and get whooped. You get whooped by a neighbor, you get whooped by a teacher, your dad ain't home for 2 weeks and he come back and whoop you. Like, it was just the whooping fest, dog. But I think about my mom and my dad, and I think about them being two teenagers who had a kid.
Right.
My mom was pregnant when she was 15. My daughter's 15. She'll be 16 in May. I can't imagine. Right. I can't imagine the dumbness that you possess when you was with child. You know what I'm saying? The irresponsibleness of your parents to not even take me and raise me. Not even, you know what I'm saying? You like, you had a baby, you gonna have a baby. Like, no. So I have empathy on my parents now. I know that they were making everything up every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes bad choices, most time awful choices. But in the end, what do you expect from a child? Like a child who had to be immediately grown. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, we was having a conversation the other day about parents, particularly new school and old school parents. And somebody made this comment that that there's no way that you can stay together if you don't get along with each other. And I was like, that's absolutely not true. No, what they said, the comment was, no one in their right mind would stay together if they can't get along with each other and have kids. And I was like, I grew up around a ton of aunts and uncles and cousins who stayed in the house their entire life. And the day that the last kid walked out the door, they was like, deuces, we done. We done. And that their relationship prior to that day never had an impact on their children, so much so that when they divorced, their children are sitting around like, wait a minute, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, how did this happen? Like, we've never seen you argue. We've never seen you dislike each other.
Exactly.
We've never seen you call each other out your names. We've never seen you did anything. We don't understand what's happening. And I'm like, sometimes if you're focused, to your point about being a dad, if you're focused on being a dad and you're a mom and you're focused on being a mom and then you're focused on co-parenting, then you're going to do everything within your power to be great parents. Now, be it to your point earlier about, I'm a great dad, I'm not a great husband. That's the same thing that they were saying to themselves. Listen, we great parents, but we ain't a great married couple. And we both recognize that. And we ain't trying to mess around with that. But the thing that I like about those stories that I used to hear back then, had a friend of mine that created a workshop in New York some years ago. I've been wanting to do it in Atlanta. I think I mentioned it to you one time before. And the name of the workshop was called My Money's Funny, But I Ain't Laughing.
Yes, you told me about that. Right. It's just funny in itself, dog. My money funny, but I ain't laughing. It's hilarious.
And so when you get these guys, particularly, talking about things about being a father that's not so funny, ain't nothing funny about being broke.
No.
Ain't
nothing funny about paying child support for a kid that's yours, that you raise and love. And ain't nothing funny about having to not be able to see your kids when you want to. When I have to pick my words because
Yep.
famous or popular, and I don't want to put in people be coming at me, but I just realized that me and my youngest daughter's mom, we not cool. Like we've been playing the role and acting like, and Jameson, but we not cool. We not cool. So I really understood that last month, and now I can move forward knowing, okay, we
just not cool.
We just not cool. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pay my child support. My daughter be 16 next month. I really don't have to be talking to her mama like that. Her mother ain't never told me I can't get her, ever. Not once. Not even, hey, I'm coming in town. Is it cool if I take Jameson out of school? Well, not this week, because she has always, me and Jameson's relationship has nothing to do with her mom. You know what I'm saying? And as it should be. And because I know that we not cool, I can just focus on my daughter and stop pretending like, oh, yeah, if I be nice to your mom, yeah, it's fine. We not cool. And we are adults and we are grown, and it's nothing violent or angry but we got grandkids together. So I'm going to see her all the time, but I'm going to just, make sure I got to cover my own piece. In the end, it just come about. In the end, it's your peace, dog. You know what I mean? I've never missed a child support payment, so no one gets to say he ain't did nothing. But the crazy part, and I'll say this, and I hope she watches this, and some family members of hers watch this. I raised her kids. That wasn't mine. I raised them as my own. Mm-hmm. The fathers lived in Atlanta. And they ain't have to pay $5 on nothing, all of high school. I took care of all that. And you make me pay child support for the one that's mine, that look like my mama with my last name, and I took care of both your kids. That's how I know we ain't cool. It's all good. That's just the kind of female you are. You know what I'm saying? I know the kind of man I am. And I know what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is be a father to my awesome daughter. And I told you a long time ago, I don't put child support when I have to Zelle her this money on the 10th and the 25th. I don't put child support. I put love support.
Right.
I put love support for Jameson. Because when I think about making sure my daughter has money to get whatever she needs, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to remember that we did make a awesome little girl together. So let me send this love support. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing that kind of think people just don't think about a lot. As we talk about being dads, in many instances, we are also a partner. And that kind of partner can be talked about in a whole bunch of other different podcasts.
Right.
But in our situation, we're husbands, right? And we're husbands with a woman who we may have kids or not have kids with, that have to slide into that relationship and understand those other relationships and be okay with that relationship.
Yes.
One of the coolest things I saw with you and Lunika was I was watching, I remember watching your wedding video. There's a couple of things that made me kind of crack up about the wedding. I was like, man, that wedding could only be a Griff wedding. I was like,
when I was yelling at dude for breathing on my phone and telling first lady to hurry up, and yeah. we gonna watch it next month. I think the same thing, dog. Only me, dog. That's hilarious. Thank you.
but I said, first of all, I said his church is at his church is at the Potter's House Cathedral. There's like 10,000 seats in there. It's like him, the pastor.
New Mercies Christian Church, Pastor Kearney, super duper empty. Me, Pastor Kearney, First Lady, my homeboy Pastor Shaw and his wife, and a makeup artist we never met. That was it. And Pastor Kearney brother. We was getting married like this. Do you take.
But the crazy thing that I was laughing is like, so when he's reading the vows, because first of all, I was laughing. I was like, man, I said, okay, it's his pastor. I said, I don't know if Griff ever knew that. I'm like, I can do weddings and funerals. I'm certified.
I am too. I done married a bunch of people. I done married myself, touched her on the forehead and said, we do. By the power, it's the power vested in you. That's the part that's important.
But when he said, I think I started laughing before you started laughing. He said something about procreating and populating the world or something like that. I was like, and when you shook your head, he's like, nah.
Ain't nobody having no more kids. Her tubes is so tied, I don't even know how she pee.
Robin Harris. I don't know if you ever heard Robin Harris in his earlier skit said, ain't no babies coming out of this. Is a baby. If she does have a baby, she better call him Hercules.
Man,
he get past this.
We too. Listen, that's the best part about having being with somebody that's 48, 49. Ain't no kids. Don't nobody want no kids at 50. I got homeboys that got little babies that they 53. They hate it. It was a mistake. You know it was a mistake. You a grown man. you 51. You about to be.
Like I call my son. I call him. He's a surprise blessing. And I thought we was done. We was on, and he showed up, and it's like, all right, God, I don't know why you gave me a boy because I had all girls. So when he showed up, it was like, okay, maybe you can't do this work without understanding what it means to be a father to a boy. That's what I took away from that.
I had daughters. So I had all sons, and then I met my ex-wife, and she had a boy and a girl, and then we made a girl. You know what I'm saying? But it was because of my love for my daughter, Justice, who was 4 when I met her. I just was like, oh my God, girls I want one. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want another one because I have been raising boys and it's totally different. I mean, it's a lot of listening when you're a father of daughters. It's a lot of just letting them finish. It's a lot of speaking life into them. You know, you're not going to be able to get none from my daughters because you said they was cute. Mm-hmm. Or what's up with your, you know what I'm saying? You better know how to read. They want to know what's the last book you read. What's your 5-year plan? Like my 23-year-old so hard on dudes. I was like, Justice, cut them some slack. You ain't got it. She was like, no, Dad, these little boys, they so young. They so young in their mind. If they 23, they really 15. But wow. I did that. When I hang up with her, I go like this. Yes. It's it. It worked. All the times the saying boys is dumb. But also as a dad, you got to put your daughters on game. That's all. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The bottom line is everybody want to sleep with you. Teachers, family members that's nasty. So keep your head on a swivel. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention. Mm-hmm. Don't let nobody touch the small of your back to see where I told my daughter, if a teacher touch your shoulder and bust him in the nose. Like, you don't touch me. Why is we touching me? Like, so I thank God that and my daughter never brought a dude home. She went to the prom her senior year, but none of my kids, when I think about it, nobody had relationships in high school. I just wasn't about that life. Like, have a relationship when you out of high school, because that's just gonna mess your school up and just
Mess your fun up, mess everything up.
it's just gonna mess everything up. Then we're gonna have to get these babies, and then y'all be lying and sneaking around in hotels, and let's just play sports and be smart. After high school, go be great.
Yeah. So, question for you.
I'm listening.
Did you get hit with the skillet yet?
Man, don't say that, dog. Laniga, she better stop saying that. If I ever get hit with a skillet, there's so many witnesses that know she been wanting to hit me with a skillet for so long, she going to jail. It ain't an accident. I ain't falling to the skillet. She been wanting to hit me with a skillet for a minute. Even her mama said, have you hit him with the skillet yet? I said, Mom. And she just passed. She just died. And sometimes you be looking, you know what's crazy is right now my wife is really going through it because her mother died a couple months back, and her birthday was last week. And then this is her first Thanksgiving without her mom. It'll be her first Christmas, and her dad died 3 years ago. So for real, she don't even know it, but she my hero, because when my mom died, I'm checking out. I'm checking out on y'all. I'm going to be in a corner, walking into the wall with my nose on the wall, slobbing. I'm going to just check out. And she's maintained such integrity and such balance. And like, I still just haven't heard her go, no, mama. Like, I don't know how she keeps it all together.
Wow. Yeah, well, we'll keep praying on her. Such a sweet spirit. Can't wait to see you guys here in Atlanta. Question for you. When you are, a lot of comedians use their family in their routines. And that's one of the things that I was telling Tracy one day. And I said, you know what? I've never seen Griff do his actual show. I got it. Next time he's in Atlanta, he's doing the show. We got it.
You have it.
You use your family. Is your family part of your show?
I talk about my whole family since I've been doing comedy. I talk about Laniga so bad. My wife is fine and blind. She got the thickest glasses. I knew her glasses was thick. One day she was looking up at the sky and she said, look at that Delta Flight 6197 headed to LAX. That person in the exit row wearing the same dress I got from TJ Maxx. Babe, can you see that lady? Now, being around her, now I wear damn glasses. So she looking at the Delta flight, and I'm going, look at that Southwest 65765. Now, I've been talking about my family. My family has been the base and root of my comedy my whole life. I was told not to tell house business, but it was so good, though.
It says some film you can't leave on the floor. Some film you got to pick it up. You can't leave that on the floor.
Yeah, people always say, Griff, what won't you say? Like, I'll talk about my mama. My mama been married 9 times. I mean, how many jokes is in that? That's like 9 easy jokes. Right. I've been talking about my family forever. I've been talking about my kids. Right. And the crazy part is I only talk about things that I love. So it's really a compliment on the side that I love on my family so much that I can talk about them and put them in a story that will make other people laugh. What's really funny is my 2 sisters. I'm probably the 4th funniest person in my family, but the only one that'll do comedy. My sisters is so funny. They was talking about me so bad one time on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everybody was there, and everybody was just laughing, and they was going in on me, and I was like, oh, this is what I be doing to people. This is awesome. Like, I wasn't even like, I'm going to show them. I'm a real comedian. Nah, my mother, I always wanted it to be as funny as my mom.
Wow.
My mom was my muse. I wanted to be my mom till I was probably 14 and realized she was a girl. Like, she cussed so good. Like, she put cuss words in nouns. Like, it was awesome. Like, I just wanted to be like my mom. She was charming. She was clever. She was intentional. She was a boss. Like, being her firstborn son, that was just something that I truly admired about her. Her personality was awesome.
Wow. So listen.
And my dogs think so.
I'm going to tell you a dad joke. And then you're going to tell everybody how they can get in touch with you and follow you on social media.
You going to tell me a dad joke now?
My dad joke.
Let me hear it.
What's the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi?
Doobadoo.
In Dubai, they show the Flintstones on TV. Or in Dubai, they don't show the Flintstones on TV, but Abu Dhabi do.
Dog, how you hang up? Where's the leave? What's the leave? That was.
Hold on.
Where's the leave? Dude, I just shut the laptop. What I gotta do? He feels so good about it, though. You should see him.
Because I keep messing it up. But the crazy thing about it is I start laughing before I tell it.
I know. That's why I knew it was gonna be horrible. What's the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi? Hold on. Yeah. My dogs hate it too. Dogs, what y'all think about the joke?
My bad, dogs. My bad. Listen, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
You can hit me everywhere at the number 2 in the word trillion, at 2 trillion, Instagram, Twitter. That's my website, 2trillion.com. And you can listen to Get Up Mornings with Eric and Campbell Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 Eastern. Check your local listings. I always wanted to say that since I was a kid and found out what check your local listings mean. Because remember the TV guide only had ABC, CBS, NBC. And then when Fox came, check your local listings. Get Up Mornings with Eric and Campbell.
Nice. Thank you so much, man. Love you to death. There's absolutely nothing you could do about that. Brother for life. You're a brother for life.
That was the worst joke I heard this year, dog. I just
let me tell it again. Maybe, sometimes.
Tell me another one. Hold on. No, I don't want to hear it.
Another one? I know another one, but it takes a while to tell the other joke. It's not
you
really.
Want to hear a racist joke that somebody told me decades ago that I appreciated? Old redneck dude said, "You a comedian? Let me tell you something." He said, "Why wasn't there no black people on the Flintstones?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Because they were still monkeys." Ain't that horrible? The way I punched him in the neck. Now we all laughing, but his was laughing like this.
That would have had to have been the outcome of that joke.
I couldn't believe he felt so comfortable with me to tell me that. I hit him in the neck so fast.
Oh my goodness. Listen, everybody, thank you for listening to I Am Dad Podcast. I'm your host, Kenneth Braswell, and this is my
I was going to ask you, was you in a real barbershop? Because I've been waiting for that white man behind you to finish fading that dude up.
He working on.
They got no black barbershop, green screens.
He's trying to get the line up right. I've been trying to figure out.
Pro black as you are, you ain't got no black barbershop, green screen.
See, now you're going to mess. Now, I bet you the next time you see this joint,
I know. You're going to have all black people in there.
Bro, thank you so much, man. And to everybody else, I'll see you next Sunday, same time, same place. Have a blessed week. Talk to you soon.
Love you, dog. Go Blue.
Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us. You've been listening to I Am Dad Podcast. We hope that you have been informed, encouraged you to think, or even inspired your heart for the love of dads. The conversation does not end here. Come back and join us next week. Same time, same place. Or you can continue the dialogue on our I Am Dad Facebook page. We also invite you to listen to past episodes, learn more about us, and keep up with special activities by visiting IamDadPodcast.com. That's IamDadPodcast.com. Until next time, I leave you with this reminder of manhood from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things because of this reminder. I will always understand that I am dad, period.